Hi everyone, welcome to the Dirt Hippie channel. I'm Jenny, and tonight we're going to be focusing on deadheading. But I also wanted to give you a little quick tour of this patch that we're going to be deadheading in. We are going to be looking at our cosmos, which are these purpley pink flowering things behind me that I planted from seed this spring. It was late spring, so I got a little bit of a late start. And then I also have some sunflowers. Remember my autumn beauties that I thought that the birds had all eaten? So I actually went and bought some sunflowers that were all potted out. Well, I did have some that were not eaten by birds, so I'm very excited about these. This one is taller than me, which isn't saying much because I'm only 5 feet tall. So this one's about 6 feet tall, and it has a nice little flower head in it just starting out. Something just fell on me. And then behind it we have about an 8-foot sunflower, so that's really exciting. I am so stoked to see these autumn beauties because they are my favorite sunflower. The colors are just awesome on them, so very excited for that. And then also in this patch with my cosmos that we're going to be focusing on is another sunflower, and that is a Jerusalem artichoke or sunchoke. Now these are, oh look, a butterfly. These sunchokes are, we're gonna start harvesting them this year. I just planted them last fall, it might have been last spring, I can't remember. But I did not harvest anything from them last fall so that they could get established. However, this fall, because they've gone so crazy, I'm going to start harvesting them near my pathway, and I need to bring the patch a little bit back. They've gone a little bonkers this year. So we're going to be taking some of the tubers, the roots, from over there and harvesting them, and we will have a kitchen show one time. We have to wait for these things to go dormant. They're still flowering and beautiful right now. That'll be in the fall. So we'll just look forward to a kitchen show with Jerusalem artichokes. But for now I wanted to focus on deadheading and deadheading cosmos tonight. Now cosmos are an annual. There are some perennials also that will respond to deadheading, and all deadheading is removing spent flower stems so that you can get additional flushes of growth. So with cosmos, they respond very well to deadheading, and they will continue to flush growth throughout the season. I mean, probably through September, even maybe into October. I doubt we'll get it into October, but they last for a very long time. So what we're gonna do is deadhead the spent flower stems now, and then let the new ones come out and continue to flush out. At the end of the season, I will let the final flowers go to seed, and I will collect seed from them to use for next year's garden. Because these are annuals, I will need to replant them every year. If I don't collect seed or I don't buy seed, I will have some that will come back up from seed here, but you run the risk of having the birds get to them too. So if I collect seed and then plant them out next spring, there's a better chance that they'll come back out. So that's kind of how we work deadheading. You deadhead if you don't need the seeds. You deadhead for looks if you have an aesthetic that you're going for. If you live in an HOA, you'll probably have to deadhead because it looks nicer. I do not have any of those things. I just deadhead so I can continue to get flowers because I just like color. So we are gonna deadhead tonight. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. If you have other ideas on how to do it, just shoot them in the comments. And if you are growing other colors of cosmos, I'd love to know what you're growing because there's so many different varieties of these, and I just love them. I think they're just fantastic little flowers. So let's get to deadheading. Okay, so I usually try to, so here's a spent one here. And I want to make sure, and then here is a new one that hasn't bloomed yet, so I want to be careful not to damage this one. I want to remove this one. So I go down to the node, see where it splits here, and I actually just want to pinch off the spent bloom, and you can see this one is fine, and then that's what it looks like. It's just clipped off kind of near the node. So here's another one. This one looks a little spent. Oh, and its buddy looks spent too, but it's got another new little bud right here. So we want to get the other two off without damaging that one. Let's see if we can do it. Yay! Here we go. Look, little guy's still left. Let's see if we can find some more. Oh, this one's, the whole stem is spent on that one. As you get lower and lower, they're not as fun. So here's one with a new bud right here, and then the old bud here. So we just want to take the top piece off. Oops. And this sometimes happens where you pull the whole damn thing out. Oh well. There's plenty more. Here's another. See the new bud right there? We want to protect that. And when you do this, oops, we got the whole thing, but there's other buds on here. See, there's a new bud there, and there's new buds up here, so I'm not too concerned about it. When you remove the spent buds, you're giving more of the plant's energy to these new buds, the new flowers, so it can spend its energy blooming again, rather than onto this, like a stem like this. We want it to go into these stems. So I'm gonna pop off the spent one. Here's one. I usually don't leave these on because if I'm out here pruning anyway, I might as well take these, even though the color is still on it, I might as well just take it while I'm here. And on that same stem, there's another one that looks great. So again, all we're doing is taking off the old stuff so that we can allow the new blooms to come through. And you can see all the new flower heads in here now. There's just a ton waiting to pop out. So I hope that gives you a good idea of how I prune my cosmos. And the same is true for a lot of other flowers that are the cut and come again kind of flowers. You can really just prune them back. Another example, which I did earlier in the season, is the Nepeta, the catmint. It's a cut and come again to a certain extent. I usually prune off as I find the flower, those stalks, and then I give it a big haircut kind of in early summer, and then it comes back, which is flushing out right now again. So it's a cut and come again as well, although I just kind of sort of shear that one off. I just kind of went after it with my pruners. Some are just using hand snips and just make sure that you go back down to a leaf node if you can, or another where it branches off, where the stems branch. It does just kind of help it out a little bit. So that's my advice on pruning cut and come agains, and hope you enjoy it, and I will catch you outside.